Oh, there she is. Hi, Tanya.
Hi.
Can you see me?
Yeah, no, I can't.
Ah. So, Alex, can you see both of us? Yeah, I can see you just fine. But, oh, who is that?
That's Taz.
Hey, hi. Very lovely. So let's see. Alex, can you see both of us, please? Could you write in chat? Okay, wonderful. So the audience can see both of us. I can see you. You cannot see me for some reason, but I think we could work it. We could work like this. Is that okay, Tanya?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, wonderful. So you are outside. How is the weather today?
It's a little bit windy, so let me know if that becomes a
No.
problem. I don't have service in my house, so it's better for me to actually be out here.
Ah, great. It looks great, actually. The quality is quite good, and it doesn't look. I mean, your hair isn't moving around very much. I can see a little bit of a breeze and your hair moving a little, but it's not a problem at all. I can hear you very well. So, look. So there is. Oh, what's the name again, please?
This is Fern right here, and then this is Taz.
Taz. Hi.
And I have Neville, our turkey, walking around too.
So lovely. Yeah, at any point, please feel free to introduce any of your residents that come about. We would love to talk to them. So Tanya, I mean, as usual, the one starting point for me that I like to ask my guest is, when did your journey begin, and how did you decide to start a farm sanctuary? And was this an idea that had always been on your mind, or was it a rule that you evolved into?
So I started volunteering with sea turtle oversight protection in South Florida, and it's where we rescue the sea turtle hatchlings that disorient. And I met a lot of people there who were vegan, and at the time I was far from it. That's a story I like to share because I want other people to see how relatable it is, because it's not, for me, it wasn't an obvious decision for a long time. Even though I loved animals, I didn't even know about veganism for quite a while. I just knew the word vegetarian, and I tried to become vegetarian when I was a young kid, and I didn't have a lot of support, so it didn't last very long. But once I was around more people to kind of help influence me and teach me, I started making the connections. And then my husband and I started doing a lot of conservation work for elephants as well. And we met so many people along the way that really inspired us. So we started out vegetarian for about 3 years. And then once we knew more about veganism, we made that transition. And in February, it's going to be 8 years for us being vegan. And I had always known that I wanted to work with animals, but I didn't know anything about sanctuaries. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. And then when we found out about one of the first sanctuaries, I think it was the one local here, Kindred Spirits, we went to. They do a Thanksgiving here, and it's celebrating the turkeys and the lives of the turkeys, and the turkeys get a wonderful feast. So when we experienced that, we looked into it further and we started volunteering, and we knew that's what we wanted to do. We already had a small sanctuary in our own right, but we didn't realize what we had with some of our rescued animals. Actually, Fern, the pig who was behind me, she was our very first rescue pig, and she was with us before we even considered the sanctuary.
Oh, that's great. And how long ago was this sanctuary?
We founded the sanctuary in November 2018, and we became a 501c3 in March 2019.
Okay, great. So that's it's kind of some little bit similar to or parallel to Alex and Jess. Looks like you guys have pretty similar journeys. I mean, not necessarily exactly, but there were quite a bit of parallels. So when did you cross paths with them? With Alex and Jess? I
actually met Jess when she was working at another sanctuary, and she was starting to rescue some roosters at the time. And I fell in love with Jess instantly. She's one of those people where you know you're just going to be best friends with her. She's very, very sweet. I had encouraged Jess she was considering starting a sanctuary, and I had just did our paperwork, so I told her I could help her with that process. And her and her team were able to do a lot of that on their own. And they just kind of ran with it, and it's just so amazing to see how much work they're doing. And then Kelly and Alex, I was actually referred to them when I needed help with a rescue case, and they came out, and the goats that they have were from the case that they came out to help with, and they adopted those goats, and it was a really tragic situation, and it kind of brought us all together. And again, same situation. Kelly and Alex are just those people where you feel like you've known them forever as soon as you meet them. They're so down to earth, and we love everything that they're doing. We're really lucky. We have a great network here with most of the Florida sanctuaries. We're all pretty close to each other as well, so it's nice to have that support.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. This is really beautiful. And in fact, when I talked to Alex, when I first met him, right away he started telling me, "Oh, I have to talk to Tanya. Oh, I have to talk to Jess. Oh, I have to talk to I have to talk to this other person." Yeah. So I could really tell that there was really sort of a lot of camaraderie between sanctuary founders in that part of the world, which is really, really beautiful to watch. Tanya, also, so that I pronounce your name correctly, is it Freymouth?
It's Freymouth. So
Freymouth.
like free myth. Yeah.
Freymouth. I just want to announce again to our listeners, because we usually, we don't have these at the most optimal times in terms of in the day, but we still have quite a few people join us, and we do have quite a few people, even more, watch them on the recording. So this is Tanya Freymouth. She is the founder, along with her husband, of, what's your husband's name, Tanya?
His name's Mike.
Mike, yes, Mike. So with her husband, Mike, I remember, you telling him about him before. I'm very bad with names. Mike, and they are the founders of Live Freely Sanctuary in Florida. And I met Tanya a few weeks ago, and I can tell right away she's a really, really warm, compassionate, caring person. And I really wanted to have her on the show. So for people watching us on either live or on the recording, please, at the very least, follow Live Freely Sanctuary on Instagram and Facebook, and you could see actually the handle on top. Oh, look at that beautiful bird! And who's that?
This is Neville.
Neville, hi Neville. Neville
just celebrated his 1-year rescue anniversary this past Sunday.
Oh, that is so sweet. Where did you rescue him from?
We had a woman contact us. I guess a family had him and some other birds, and they moved and they just abandoned all the birds. And predators came in and unfortunately killed everybody except for Neville. He found a way to save himself, and he followed a woman home who was walking her dog.
Wow.
And she contacted us because she didn't have enough space. So he's like our little foreman. He's kind of involved in everything. He's always just hanging around and following us around and inspecting everything we do.
Oh, hi, very nice to meet you. Very, very beautiful, and incredibly amazing stories when you hear the stories of the individual animals, and how they end up at sanctuaries, and the kinds of hardships that they go through. It's really remarkable. The types of stories, and I think it's incredibly important. These are stories worth telling, because people get to know animals as individuals. So Tanya, we talked. One of the topics we talked about is the bunny rescue sort of program, initiative, effort that you have, and you have some quite very lovely people from the community who are involved. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how more people can get involved in that?
In the bunnies, you said?
Yeah, in the bunny rescue.
So I'm actually involved with Space Coast Bunnies as well, and we have an event going on tomorrow. Ashley, she's the founder of Space Coast Bunnies. She's amazing. We helped her on a rescue case before she was even a nonprofit, and it was kind of like a hoarding situation. So we ended up taking a lot of those bunnies from that situation, and a lot of them were disabled. So we personally kept them at the sanctuary. So if anybody's interested, I definitely recommend following Space Coast Bunnies and see what they're doing. There's a lot of rescues in Florida, and bunnies are another animal that people don't think about how often they're exploited. They're still used in the meat and fur industry. They're still tested on, and they're a novelty gift that a lot of people like to buy around holidays, particularly Easter. And they end up getting dumped after short periods of time because kids get bored, and they're not a starter pet, which is another huge common misconception. People think that you can keep bunnies in cages and hutches, and that's not true. They actually should be treated almost like a cat. They're litter box trained. They should have free roam. You just have to make sure you bunny proof, because they can get into things and chew on wires. but bunnies actually are supposed to kind of eat constantly and keep their gut moving. And so if they don't have a lot of space, their intestines can slow down and they can go into GI stasis, which can cause them to pass away within 24 hours. So there's a lot of education that needs to be done. The pet stores provide misinformation, and even like the bedding, they sell cedar wood chips for bunnies, which is toxic. And I didn't know that as a young kid. We actually lost 2 bunnies because the pet store recommended it. There's even pictures of bunnies on the wood chips. So there's just a ton of misinformation. Right now in Florida, there's a bill that is up. And so I'll do a post with the emails. People can email to try to get the senators to endorse this bill to try to ban some of the sales, particularly in certain pet stores, or at least tighten the rules, because the pet stores are allowed to sell bunnies that aren't spayed and neutered, and they can breed as young as 3 months old, and they can't be spayed or neutered until they're 6 months. So males and females should be separated, and the pet stores don't do that. So a lot of families adopt these bunnies from pet stores, and they get pregnant bunnies, and that litter can get out of control, and you can have hundreds of bunnies within just a couple of months. So we are just pushing for people to do a lot of research. The House Rabbit Society is a great website and Facebook page to check out to get a lot more information too. And bunnies kind of changed the whole course of our rescue. It's not something that we had intended to get into, but when we saw the need and all these special needs bunnies didn't have anywhere to go, we decided we could provide the home for them and not take up space in other homes when there are bunnies in need. And we've learned so much specialty care, and the disabled bunny that we rescued actually is the reason why we have more of a focus on disabled animals now too.
Mm-hmm. And you remind me of a person, Christy, my friend Christy Vernon Murdoch. She's the founder of Only Sunshine Sanctuary, and she lives right outside Sacramento. And she's really involved in the bunny rescue here in the area. And in fact, I was really, look at that beautiful face. Oh, and who is that?
This is Chad again. He'll flop over for belly rubs.
Okay. Hey, Chad, beautiful. Thank you for joining us. He's curious, what are these humans doing? Look at the belly rub. This is one of the most enjoyable activities, is to give a belly rub to.
Yeah.
It's very relaxing for them.
Tell me about your friend.
Yeah. So no. Please don't apologize. This is amazing. This is perfect. Like having the animals right in the middle of it. Christy, she's involved in rabbit rescue, and so one thing I learned from her when I talked to her last year, I think she said she rescued about 150 in the space of a few months. So, and here what happens. People buy them as small bunnies as pets, then they get bored with them, or they outgrow their face. And then people justify it to themselves. Oh, you know what? I see these hairs, I see these rabbits running around. So let's just leave it here, leave it there in the park, and then it will fend for itself. But the truth is that, that's in the best case scenario. But the truth is that even in the best case scenario, these are domestic rabbits. These are not wild rabbits. They have been domesticated, and their speed and all the things that give them the edge to survive in nature, they were taken away from them. For example, you would see that rabbits that actually you see them in the wild are very, very thin. Well, they are, because that's part of their makeup. But these rabbits, many of them were adopted, for meat, and therefore the certain types of breeds were selected. So they were selected and subjugated, and their growth was subjugated and evolution to human needs. So this is a different animal than the one that they see. And then what happens is that they leave them, and they are sitting ducks either to predators, or they reproduce in the wild, and then perpetuates. And so she said she is really involved in rehoming of rabbits, and she keeps some at the sanctuary herself. And I think she's a great person. I would love to make an introduction between. Yeah, I would love to do that. So I would certainly do that. So Tanya, tell me, this is one thing, as amazing as it is, giving belly rubs, getting involved in the lives of these very beautiful creatures, running a sanctuary is not easy. It isn't. So tell me, what kind of support structure do you have? Do you have members who support you financially and in other ways? Do you have a program for volunteers? And if somebody would like to volunteer remotely, are there opportunities for something like that?
So right now we don't have any volunteer programs. I feel like we're still setting up from our move. We moved here just over a year ago, and we're actually still working on Neville's house and run and things like that. And we could have people come out to work on that. We haven't put out the plea for volunteers yet. We've been lucky that a lot of our friends have came to help, which again are the local sanctuaries, and they were some of the main people who helped us get the fencing put up to move here. As far as financial support, we get the majority of our donations through social media. So Instagram and Facebook are our two main platforms, and then we have Patreon. I definitely need to update that. Unfortunately, I haven't kept up with it very well, and that's something that I need to work on. So I'm planning on doing that at the beginning of the year. So we have a small number of supporters, which we're super grateful for. Sometimes we sell merch and we do like T-shirt fundraisers. We used to do tabling at Veg Fest, but we haven't done that in quite a while. Since we're finally starting to get settled here, I think that's something we're hoping to do again in the new year. And then we have my husband. He's the number one reason why the sanctuary is possible. He works really hard here. He can build anything and he can make anything, and he works really hard too with caretaking. He gets up before he goes to work. He works a full-time job and then some, and he feeds everyone in the morning, and I take care of them throughout the day, and I usually try to get everyone fed before he gets home, or sometimes we tag team that. And then I do have my father and my brother actually live here with us, and my dad really loves to be the treat giver, so the animals count on him for their midday snacks, and my dad loves to clean the pig pools. That's a project that he's taken on. And then my brother, he's the one who takes care of the animals when we're not here, which is very rare, but because of the holidays, we're actually going to be gone for a few days. So he's going to be taking care of everyone while we're gone. And my brother's also a chauffeur to vet appointments too, a lot of the time. So he's had almost every type of animal in his car, and he's taken me to appointments when I don't have a vehicle to go.
Oh, that's beautiful. And, I think exactly as the African saying, well, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to run a sanctuary. It really does. I'm honestly amazed how people running sanctuaries do it. The math for me doesn't add up. In terms of resources, in terms of time, days of, in terms of hours in the day, in terms of days.
Oh, yeah.
It does not.
We don't go to bed before 1 a.m. and I don't know how that happens every night. We're still catching up throughout the night, just cleaning up and doing chores. It's always 1 a.m. before or by the time we get to bed. And when you're 501c3, you're only able to fund 2/3 of the nonprofit, and the rest has to come through donations. And we've been very lucky that we've gotten a lot of donations to help with costs, but a lot of it comes out of pocket too, which is another reason why my husband has to work full-time and overtime. And it sucks because he wants to be here with us and the animals, and we see him, in the evenings and on the weekends, but we wish we had more time with him. And, he's exhausted. I don't know how he does it, because with the full-time job and working here full-time, he's running on anywhere from 2 to 4 hours of sleep the majority of the time.
Wow.
I'm going to turn the camera around for a second because Neville's dust bathing. I want to see if you could see him.
Oh, yes, I do.
I don't know.
Oh, look at that.
I'll try to zoom in. Oh, he just got up. I think he saw.
Look at that.
It's not focusing.
Yeah.
And
that's
Fern is sleeping.
Yeah. So Alex is saying that the mic is a pause. Well,
yeah.
Oops, sorry. Let me turn the phone off. So Tanya, this is quite remarkable. 2 to 4 hours and still be able to function. And so this is one thing that I always like to communicate. Not to make it look sad or dramatic, well, clearly you get immense psychological satisfaction, spiritual satisfaction, mental satisfaction, all kinds of satisfactions running a sanctuary. But if something I try to communicate to people, that this is a real commitment. And to me, that's part of the admiration, is not just simply the compassion, the kind of heart that brings somebody like you to actually start an enterprise like this. But it's not just that, it takes a lot more than that. It takes dedication, it takes commitment, it takes resourcefulness, it takes resilience, it takes sometimes resilience, sometimes stubbornness, because sometimes the odds of doing it are just so overwhelming. It just, you would have to defy logic, and then to me, that's why I always say that people who run sanctuaries are a breed of their own, a breed of humanity of their own, that all of us should support and cherish and honor. So that's an absolutely firm commitment. Oh, absolutely. That's a firm belief that they have, and that's why I started the project in the first place. So in terms of donations, so do you have the opportunity for people to make regular donations? Do you have or is it the love goes around? Just somebody makes a donation, and is there an opportunity for regular donations, or in a sense of sponsoring a particular animal? How does it work? How is the structure works?
So we have Patreon, which you can put any amount in, and that will be a monthly reoccurring donation. A lot of times we're fundraising for emergencies, unfortunately. We do get a lot of people who come together and help us during emergencies, so we've been very lucky. We actually, this year has been our hardest year since starting the sanctuary, as far as just medical emergencies and health issues for a lot of the animals. So we had our savings drained, so now we're trying to build it back up with the end of the year, like Giving Tuesday and the holidays. We're actually really lucky right now. We have a donor match, so this person will match donations up to $3,000, and we just hit the halfway mark. We're actually just over halfway right now, and they are doing it throughout or until the end of the year. So we're getting close to our deadline, but we've been lucky with special, we call them angel donors, when they kind of come in and help us during emergencies, and they fund a lot of the emergency expenses. But yeah, the Patreon, I do want to set that up so that way you can sponsor individual animals. We don't have that set up yet. Actually, Patreon changed the way that you can structure it now, so I need to, again, something I need to put some time into. This year's just been rough, so I just haven't had a chance to, but I definitely plan on doing it within the next few weeks.
Oh, that's great. And I would like to mention that it is a very, very special way of joining a sanctuary family, being a member. And then when people say monthly donations, we are not talking about $1 million. It could be $25. It could be as little as $10. Sometimes as little as $5. Yeah. And that's just, if you read about it,
I think we have $2 donors too. We always say $2 makes a difference, and it does. It all adds up. For sure. And I mean, if half of our followers donated $2, it would help significantly with just the regular monthly cost.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me personally, I would love to become a member, monthly member in starting in 2024. I would love to. I would have even started earlier. It's just now I have to go through the end of year and with the launching of the app and everything, but absolutely would love to. And I also, oh, absolutely. It really is. I mean, as I told you, there is something really special about people like you, Tanya, people like you, Jess, Alex, and all the amazing people I got to meet on this journey. Because as I said, it's not the whole package, the heart, the mind, the resilience. I get hope. And not just that, you guys are the people who are doing the work day in and day out. I'm just your ally from an office, trying to support you as much as I can, but ultimately you are the heroes. And also the other thing is that when we are launching the app, Vegius, starting in January 2024, the first week of January 2024. And in fact, I'll be sending you the invite very soon. We are working on the invite for the party. And absolutely, we would like to make that and work very hard to turn it into a way, through sharing service fees with sanctuaries, to turn it into a meaningful source of income for sanctuaries, very deservedly and very richly earned. Sanctuaries are at the very core of making this change. That change is creating abundance. That abundance should come back to them, and support the animals and the sanctuaries at least partially. And that's another way of doing it. And then we'll be talking more in 2024. And we'll do every single thing to help promote sanctuaries, individual sanctuaries, and sanctuaries collectively. And also another thing I would like to emphasize to our listeners live or on the recording, please follow them on Live Freely Sanctuary, and you could see the handle on top. And Facebook, you could just very easily look them Live Freely Sanctuary, and it shows up. They are doing amazing work, and just as simple as just clicking on the handle, joining them, you get to stay updated. You get to hear stories of individual animals. You get to follow this quite remarkable journey. Small steps of building community are incredibly important ways for all of us to connect. So Tanya, tell me a little bit about the sanctuary and the property. So once you decided to start a sanctuary, so did you buy land? Did you rent it? If that is something that you're, that's possible for us to hear a little bit more. And how large is the property? How many animals live on it?
Yeah, so when we first started, we were just living in a regular neighborhood, and we had restrictions, so we were only allowed to have a certain amount of pigs and a certain amount of chickens at the time. So we were just a micro sanctuary. Now I even consider us kind of a micro sanctuary, but we only had a half acre, and we were working for about 4 years to find the property that we wanted. Of course, with the market change, we ended up not being able to get quite as many acres as we had hoped for. But the property that we're on right now is just over 7 acres. We have a few acres that aren't being used yet. We plan on hopefully trying to grow some hay on some of the acres, and then we have the front pasture that we want to use to kind of give them we call it like a turnout, where they get free range to just run around and explore a different space, and we can let each group run out at a time. We have 3 different pastures with a pair of pigs in each pasture, and we have 2 big pigs that are together. We have 44 animals, but the majority of that is bunnies. We have 23 special needs bunnies, and they all live in our home. So they have different sections of the house. There's almost no room that doesn't have a bunny. But our plan is to hopefully eventually turn part of our barn into a bunny house, so that way we can double the space that they have now. But everybody has at least 16 square feet of space, if not more. We have some bunnies that just free range in our bedroom too. I'm trying to think what else specifically. I can say if anybody is interested in starting a sanctuary, and when you are looking for land, there is a lot that goes into it. A lot of people don't think about it, but it's super important to check out the zoning, check the flooding, find out what animals you are allowed to have, if you're able to even have events. A lot of places in Florida particularly have standing water and flooding and wetlands, so it's something that you want to definitely look into. I know a lot of sanctuaries, people bought land quickly because they knew that there were animals in need, and they weren't zoned for the specific animals, and ended up having to move or fight their county to change the zoning. So that's something that we were lucky before we moved. We had all that knowledge, and I even contacted our city just to be sure about certain species and how many we could have. And they were super kind, and it's a small town, so they said that if there are certain species that they typically don't allow, they would easily just take a vote and make it possible for us to work with different species if we need to. So we're really lucky where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great. That's great that you have that kind of flexibility. And so the bunnies in particular, so you said special needs. So are these bunnies that come from labs, So I know that in addition to people just dropping pets, but are there also any other sources from which bunnies come, like laboratories and stuff, or no, just rescue?
Ours specifically aren't. Ours, the majority of ours are from the main hoarding case. During that case, the person actually got evicted, and he was going to just release the bunnies to the streets. And a lot of them were digging out of the property because they were just free ranging around the guy's backyard. A bunch of them were getting hit by cars, which is where our bunny Desi came from. He actually had a dodo video because he made such a miraculous recovery. He went from being paralyzed to running around in a wheelchair, and then after just over a year, he actually recovered enough where he doesn't need the wheelchair and he can hop now. But so most of them came from that hoarding case because of inbreeding. A lot of them developed different genetic issues, so they have a shorter life expectancy. We have a lot of bunnies that have a hairless gene mutation, which actually causes their internal organs to be different too, and they have really bad issues with anesthesia and things like that. We have bunnies that are missing eyes. We have bunnies that have splayed legs. We have bunnies that have different health issues that they picked up from living outside that are permanent issues like caniculi. So most of them are bunnies from that case, or bunnies that were found that were dumped, or we don't like to do rehomes, but we offer it sometimes if it's an emergency situation. So we have a few bunnies that are rehomes as well, but they are also special needs.
And you said you have 40 total bunnies, right? Is that correct? Did they get the number?
23 bunnies, 44 animals total.
44 animals total and 23 bunnies. Okay, perfect. So I'm wondering, actually, it would be lovely to meet some of them if possible, the bunnies and the other animals, if that's possible.
So I don't think it's going to work for the bunnies because I don't get service in the house.
Got it.
So I think it will drop if I try to go into the house. Also, the dogs might go crazy. Our city's actually running internet, so we'll have internet by the end of next year, but I don't know if I can try, but I don't know if it will work. I can sorry, go ahead.
No, it's totally okay. We can do it next year because that would be a great excuse to do another live with you again.
Okay.
But if the animals outside, if there are some more animals, would love to meet them.
Yeah, I'll turn the camera around. Hold on one second.
Yeah, even from distance, that's totally okay.
So here's Taz napping. I've been rubbing his belly the whole time we're talking.
Oh my God! Look at that face. Look! That's how happiness looks like.
Yeah,
if somebody
laying on the hose. He has an underbite, and it just makes it look like he's smiling all the time. And he loved belly rubs. He was a pretty aggressive pig before we got him with the person he was with before, and now he's just the biggest love bug. So Neville's out here dust bathing. Hi,
Neville is quite a character.
Yeah, he is. And then this is Fern. She's our very first rescue pig. She's a little bit sassy. The Humane Society found her wandering the streets by herself as a baby, which is very common in Florida. There are probably thousands of pigs that are dumped. It's just insane. A lot of people think that, there's that whole mini pig misconception because pigs can breed at such a young age. The breeders will post pictures of the parents and say, oh, this is a full-grown pig, but they're only 3 months old and they can grow until they're 3 to 5 years old. So Fern was probably a victim of she kept growing bigger than they expected, and even though she is bigger than what they thought, she's still not very big. She's probably only about 75 pounds, which is very small for a pig. Hi, Neville. You gonna shake off?
Hi, Neville. You better. I just want to tell Neville to better free the schedule when I show up in Florida.
Oh yeah.
I would like to hang.
What do you think, Neville? You gonna let him give you a hug, huh?
Oh, that's so sweet. So he hugs?
I'll walk over to Millie. Sorry, go ahead.
I said he gives hugs? He gives you hugs?
Yeah, let me see if he tolerates them.
That's
Millie, get a hug?
That's remarkable. Oh, that's so cute. I know.
He lets me kiss him all the time. I'm going to walk over to Millie. She's laying down. She's our big girl. Hi, Millie. I'm coming over there. Sorry, I have my high-pitched animal voice that comes out.
Great. No, this what makes this really exciting. I mean, that we get to see you interacting with the animals, and we get to see the animals and have a sense of a sanctuary even from a distance.
So Millie here is one of my best friends. Hi, Moo. Come here. Say hi.
Oh, she's so excited.
Oh. So those are the happy sounds. Were you just sudden, huh? She's just so happy to have a nice warm day. You gonna lay down for some belly rubs? Oh, there she goes.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that.
you want to tummy rub? So she's a big girl. She's probably, well, I don't know, maybe 600 pounds.
How old is she?
Oh, she's a baby. She's only about 2.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, some of them grow quickly. I mean, particularly, pigs that are bred for meat. Well, they have at 6 months.
Her story is very tragic. She was supposed to be bred for meat. The person who had her had a male pig also, and he had planned on breeding them to have the babies to sell for meat, and then he was going to use her for meat when he was done breeding her. And her friend were only a few months old at the time, and he had them just in a little box in his yard that he had built out of plywood. And she found a way to break out, and she kept breaking out and escaping to the neighbor house with her friend. And the neighbor kept pleading to rescue them, and the man was very stubborn. And one day he got frustrated at them, so he had hunting dogs come in and attack them. And he was hoping that would scare them to keep them from breaking out again. And he told the lady, if they get out again, I'm done with them. You can just have them. But her friend disappeared because of the hunting dogs. The dogs chased her friend into the woods, and we don't know if they killed him or not. So, and Millie ended up escaping again the next day, and the woman posted about her pleading for help. And so we had someone go get her, and she's just the sweetest girl. One thing I want to say when we're talking about like the unexpected things and the hardships of sanctuaries, something you don't think about when you are working with larger animals. A situation I went through recently, I think it's important to share even with other sanctuaries too, is to make sure you're always aware of like your spatialness with larger animals. Millie's really, really sweet, and we put sunblock on her because especially pink pigs, they can get skin cancer very easily. And when I put sunblock on her, she flops over as if she's getting like a spa day. But she does not like the sunblock on her nose. And so when I went to put it on her nose the other day, she just like shoved me. She barely did anything. But because she's so large and I was so close to her, it caused a severe injury to me. And now I'm recovering from that. She basically split my face open.
Oh, so
And it was, and she felt bad instantly. She got up and she was, nudging me and talking to me and making sure I was okay. And, she didn't even try to hurt me. She literally just shook her head. So it's just something that other people need to be aware of when they're considering rescuing larger animals and stuff too. Even though she's the sweetest girl and I can smooch her all over her face, you can accidentally get stepped on. Things happen all the time, so it's another part of sanctuary life that people just don't think about too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just the sheer size. For example, when I go volunteer at Animal Place, as a volunteer, I can be on my own in certain enclosures. In, let's say, the sheep enclosure, the sheep barn, where with the goats, with the chicken. But then when it comes to larger animals like cows and pigs, it has to be with a staff member. And that makes a lot of sense because volunteers are not around animals all the time, and then they will tend to forget. And particularly with animals that are so gentle. I mean, the thing is that the likelihood of something happening is pretty low. But then if it happens, it's certainly just the sheer size, nothing else.
Yeah. And that, I don't want to be afraid of her because she's such a sweet girl, and it was just one of those freak accidents. But it just reminds you of you have to have spatial awareness when you are working with them. I'm gonna walk over to her friend I think he's sleeping in his little barn. He's a big old man. His name's Squiggly, and he came from another sanctuary where the founder actually developed cancer in his lungs, and his lungs collapsed, and he thought he wasn't going to make it. So he found placement for animals as quickly as he could, and Squiggly was one of the pigs who needed a home. And Squiggly is an old guy. He's probably about 12. Hi, baby. He's a big boy. He's super sweet. He smiles all the time. Hi, Squiggly. You napping? Hi. Want a happy hood?
Pigs are such
he likes
such gentle, intelligent, sweet beings.
He likes to nap the majority of the day. He's smart. He knows to come out when it's cooler in the evening.
Oh, that's so sweet.
He's just taking an easy, huh? All right, we'll let you be. I'll walk over to some more of the other animals. Hi, Neville. Neville likes to follow me around, so he's wondering why I'm in a different yard than him.
Oh, that's so sweet. So he's a kind of making sure this. So he's the supervisor of the sanctuary.
Yes, he is. At least he likes to think so. Neville, you gonna walk this way? You coming? Come on, buddy.
So cute.
We're gonna go to the piggies.
Hey, Tanya, it's so cute that he follows you around.
Oh yeah, that's what he does all day. You coming? Come on, buddy. He's getting ready to fluff up to show off his display for you. Neville, come on. What are you doing? You want to show off your feathers, huh? He actually really loves Mike, but it's funny because he feels like he's in competition with Mike if I'm around. But if it's just Mike, he'll choose Mike over me when it comes to following. You gonna open up your feathers? Look at you puffing up. You're so handsome. You show it off? All right, we're gonna go see where the other piggies are.
You know, when you said that he competes with Mike when you're around, it just tells you how much he thinks of you as part of his clan, because you know, that's what they do with it. That's what turkeys do with it.
Yes, he's a ladies' man for sure. Anytime there's new women who come to visit, he definitely likes to show off for them and dance around.
Oh, that's so funny.
Let's see who we got here. Is that Miss Piggy? Miss Piggy?
Maybe you should change his name to Casanova.
Yeah. Hi, Miss Piggy.
Hi. Oh, look at that. Look at the beautiful eyes, the beautiful face. And who is this?
She does have voice. This is Miss Piggy.
Hi, Miss Piggy.
So she was rescued with Ziggy. They both came with their names. And this was a rehoming situation where the woman who saved them was in her life, and they were going to be at risk because of some people in her life. So she was reaching out for an emergency placement, and we came and got them. And Miss Piggy was actually rescued from a flea market. They had her in a tiny little cage, and they were trying to sell her at a flea market. You eating some roots? She's very skittish.
Hi, Piggy.
She only lets me and my husband pet her, and even sometimes she'll kind of get nervous occasionally.
Very understandably.
Yeah. And we'll go over to Ziggy. Ziggy's up on the hill grazing. Ziggy!
This is quite a large enclosure, actually.
Yeah, they do have very large space, especially for only two of them.
Yeah.
The reason why we have them separated as they are is because some of them just don't get along. And, you know, with time, they'll learn to accept each other. But we didn't, because we have the capability of keeping them separate, we didn't want to put them through that if they're happy or not being in a larger group.
No, absolutely. In fact, this is a very important remark that you made about their personalities. These are individuals, and they have drama, they have all kinds of things, and it's not like the pigs put them together, the chicken put them together. At any place, there is a little rooster. He actually escapes to go spend time with turkeys. He does not want to be with the chicken. It's so funny because I asked, they said, wait, why is he always here? They said that he actually escaped. He did not want to be the chicken, and he joined the turkeys.
Yeah,
Hi.
they choose their friendship. Actually, Miss Piggy, who we just walked away from, she's obsessed with the birds. She loves them. She follows them around. She's me as a scratching post. I don't know if you can see. Oh,
Oh,
so
look at that.
cute.
That's so cute.
Yeah, he really loves to use people's legs to scratch against. Hi.
Oh,
You get what I'm good
that's
for?
cute.
Scratch the post. So he's the reason why he gets very emotional with the group, and he pouted every time we would try to fight, which is what pigs do. They fight, and he would for 5 days. And you know, pigs love. He was interested in food, but he was very reluctant. And we tried it 2 or 3 times, and it's not worth putting into that. We'll just have to suffer. They're very happy.
Hey, hey, Tanya. The connection is starting to cut a little, so I'm not hearing you very well at this point.
Okay, I'll move.
I was hearing you very well until you got to this point. So now it's getting better.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying that Ziggy's the reason why they can't all be together, because he's very emotional and he'll pout for a long time when we try to bond them. So he's the reason why we decided to not put them through it. Hi, Ziggy. You coming back to say hi?
Hey.
And she's the one who loves the chickens so much.
And you know, Tanya, what you just said about their personalities, and this also says something about you. This is their home. You're thinking of the sanctuary as their home, so that you're arranging it based on their needs, on their personalities, and it's not like some piece of land and then you just, okay, the pigs, I'm gonna put them here. It's very, so that really shows me this is an animal-centered place.
Yes,
which
definitely.
is
Yeah, we planned everything around, you know, what would make them the happiest. And because I mean, a lot of people think that it's a little bit crazy that we don't just have them all together and that we have them separated like this, but it just makes them happier. So it's not much extra work for us. The only downside is that we can't take on too many animals right now, too many more pigs, because we don't want to stress them out. But we're kind of on a little bit of a hold right now because of all of the emergencies we had this year. So I just saw Alex said that it's lagging really bad, so I'm going to try to move. I'll go over to the chickens. Let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, I'm hearing you very well.
Okay.
And in fact, the other very important function a sanctuary can play, particularly when there are the resources, is to function as an educational center, so that by taking more people off the meat consumption, we get to save a lot more animals that way. So there is only so many animals that can be fit inside of a sanctuary. The important thing is that the reduction of all the suffering actually starts by changing the food system, and sanctuaries have a major role to play. And well, priority of course is looking after animals.
Yeah, actually, these boys right here, they're from the meat industry. They were rescued from a factory farm who went bankrupt. And Atlas right here, he's my lap chicken, this boy. Hi, he's turned several people vegan just because he's so friendly. He loves to get in your lap. You my lap chicken? He loves to hug. You want to come say hi?
Oh, that's so sweet.
Let's turn the camera.
Hi,
Look at that. Say hi.
Hi. Hi, Atlas. Oh, look at that beautiful face.
What are you doing?
Hey.
You want to go explore? That's his brother, Pandora.
Pandora. I love the name.
That's Ophelia. Ophelia's separated. Well, you should know they're named after Jupiter's moons and Saturn's moons.
That's right. Yeah.
This is Ophelia. He's separate from them because he decided that he didn't want to continue a friendship. So I know that's just, part of the sanctuary life. We had to build a divider, and then we're actually going to double their run too. Hi guys. They're looking for acorns right now. So the Cornish they came from the meat industry, and they're bred to only live to be 6 weeks old. And these guys just celebrated, let me think, I think we're on their fourth birthday
Wow.
last month.
Wow. Wow.
And they're bred to just eat and eat, and they will literally eat themselves to death if they have the opportunity. So their food has to be particularly managed. Actually, I'll go into their run. We don't even let them have access to dirt in their run. They have shavings on them, but you can see that there's actually stall mats under the shavings, so they can't peck on the dirt. And they get supervised time out in the yard to dust bathe and forage, but they don't get 24-hour access because these guys will just keep eating the dirt until they impact their crops.
Yeah.
We actually had an emergency with Atlas doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you guys doing?
I'm not surprised. And, because this, Tanya, this is exactly the kind of information that's incredibly enlightening. Because if you think about it, yes, you're right. I mean, the natural instinct is to actually forage. But these are freaks of breeding. I mean, the chickens that we have now. And therefore, combining the behaviors that come from change with the behaviors that come naturally from their instincts could produce some very, very undesirable consequences. The same thing with human beings. That we used to having so little sugar in the environment that we crave it so much. But now with so much of it around us, we can't stop ourselves, and people end up gaining so much weight. It's very similar, in ways. I mean, for us, at least nobody tried to modify us genetically. So.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head over to Phoenix. So we have all of our runs are predator proof too. So part of the benefit of having the stall mats down completely is that no predators can dig under. Hi, Phoenix. So Phoenix he can have access to dirt because he's not a Cornish cross. Hold on one second. I gotta open this, unlock it. I'm gonna set the phone down for a second. There we are. So he has stall mats that go just around the perimeter to keep predators from digging under. Phoenix is a Kaporos rescue from the Miami Kaporos rituals. So he was going to be sacrificed.
Rituals, what are those? I'm not familiar with them.
So it's actually a Jewish ritual where people, their way of repenting is to offer a life.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. It doesn't make any sense because you feel like that would be a sin on its own. But they also have the opportunity to offer money donations as a way to repent instead of sacrificing chickens. But they prefer sacrificing chickens. It's actually a horrible thing that happens on the streets in New York for days at a time. And there's no laws against it. So Phoenix was very lucky that there was a group of animal rescuers there, and they pleaded for his life, and they ended up, paying to save him, and he needed a home right away. And something I can tell people, especially those who are listening who aren't yet vegan, every single chicken that we've rescued from the meat industry has come to us filled with parasites. They're all healthy now after a lot of treatment, but it just shows the meat that people are eating, they're filled with worms from the poor conditions at these factory farms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Phoenix was one of them where he wasn't putting on weight for a while, and we had done multiple fecals, and we finally sent one out to a university out of state, and it came back with an overburden of a specific type of bacteria. And it was a specific parasite that he picked up at the factory farm.
Doesn't surprise me in a bit. That doesn't surprise me at all. So.
Hey, buddy.
Wow. Look at that beautiful bird.
Yeah.
Just.
He's gorgeous, and he's very talkative. He's very opinionated. We posted a video recently of him stealing my food. He likes to. All of the animals beg like dogs here. Every single one of them. There's no exception. What are you doing? Oh, you being sassy? You can't eat the acorns. You want to say hi? Say hi. You gonna peck? What are you doing?
Who's talking to me? Hi. Who's this person who's talking to me about no treats?
Hi. There's you. That's you in there. What do you think? Oh. Say hi, everyone. Say hi.
Hi. So, Tanya, I thank you so much for this. It's about time for us to wrap up. I
Okay.
just want to thank you very, very much. And for our listeners, this is Tanya Freemuth. She's the founder, along with her husband, of Live Freely Sanctuary in Florida. And she's one of our honorary partners at Vegius. And so we, in fact, create a page for you. And in fact, we created like a link tree that connects to all the social media, to Patreon, and to everything that you have. So we're going to do that
Yeah,
for
we
every
do. We
sanctuary.
actually have a link tree in our Instagram. If you click on in our
Wonderful.
bio, there's a link tree because we have the Venmo and Cash App and PayPal, different ways if anybody wants to donate,
Yeah.
or the Patreon to become a member. Yeah. Come here,
So
buddy.
joining as becoming a member, and so becoming a member, and it is as little as a price of a coffee cup a month could make a huge difference. Tanya and I, as just to repeat, we met through our common friend Alex Welch, who is co-founder along with his wife of Karma Sanctuary in Florida. He spoke very, very highly of Tanya, and we got to connect, and I'm incredibly happy that we did. And we have crossed paths, and I cannot wait to see where 2024 takes all of us. And yeah, please consider the donating. Please consider, at the very least, just clicking on the handle Live Freely Sanctuary, and Instagram that anything it doesn't matter. There isn't any such a thing as little when it comes to standing with these very, very special human beings and the animals that they care for. And also, I highly recommend it for everybody just to take a moment to send a message and to say thank you for all that you do. Tanya, we see you, we hear you. Thank you so very, very much. I cannot tell you how excited I am we crossed paths. Cannot tell you how excited I am that we're working side by side in 2024 to try to find new ways of magnifying our voice, our global voice for compassion and for mercy for these incredible beings, like one right in your arms. So before we wrap up, is there anything in particular that you would like to hi, just join us, just to say hi to all.
Yes. Thank you, Alex.
So Tanya,
So anybody who's interested in going vegan, I definitely recommend checking out Challenge 22. That's a awesome group. It's very non-judgmental and kind of go at your own pace. And actually, Jess and I don't know if Jess is still a mentor, but Jess has mentored for so long, even while working full-time and running a sanctuary. I wasn't quite as ambitious as her, and I was only able to mentor for a short period of time, but it's such an awesome group, and it will help encourage you and give you some suggestions on your vegan journey. So I definitely recommend checking that out, Challenge 22. And the other sanctuaries that we spoke about today, Sage Sanctuaries and Gardens for Education, Karma Farm Sanctuary, definitely check everybody out. We're so grateful to have these sanctuary partners here. And of course, Space Coast Bunnies is what we talked about today. And thank you. Like, we appreciate everything you're doing too, and that you understand, without running a sanctuary, it's hard to understand, but you get it more than most people. And we're so incredibly lucky to have you as an advocate for us. And Phoenix agrees.
Hey, thank you, Phoenix. No, absolutely. Well, because I volunteer at a sanctuary, and then right away I could see what was going on. I mean, well, it's obvious. It's a particular kind of a profile of a person who's attracted to that kind of work. And the more you think about it, this is a very, very special kind of a person. And these are a group of people that are worth all of our support. And to me, I absolutely believe the central problem in the world is the way that we relate to the rest of the animal kingdom. Everything else is a manifestation of that. Everything else is a symptom. If we and if there is a chance for us to transform ourselves, is to magnify the voices of sanctuary founders and give them lift a little bit of the burden that they carry. I mean, you carry so much, let alone they have to worry about the logistics and the financials, and none of that made any sense to me. So trying to work really hard with sanctuaries so that we could re-engineer the landscape in such a way that it's a little bit more compassionate, a little bit more more appreciative, a little bit more grateful for that incredible work. So happy New Year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, for whoever celebrates that. Whatever holidays you celebrate, I'm so glad that many of us are choosing to celebrate them compassionately. And to me, that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah,
So,
happy holidays. If anybody wants help going vegan in the new year, please feel free to reach out. We're here to help.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for your time. I'm incredibly happy we got to do this, and absolutely looking forward to doing it again. We will next time when the internet is up. Hopefully, we get to see the chicken, and we are in touch, and we'll continue to be in touch in 2024. In fact, there could even be events or things where we have multiple sanctuary founders coming together, and all of us do some kind of event. So, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye. 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 Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Bye.